a quick countdown.
You're on.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Abdul Hussain, and I am an aspiring politician. I have a problem with one politician in particular. Her name is Theresa May, and she is the current Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And there are 3 reasons as to why she is an illegitimate Prime Minister. First reason, she is a Prime Minister that has not been chosen by the general public. 2, she promotes a Great Britain or United Kingdom whereby everyone would be financially stable and that everyone would have jobs. But instead, what do we get? We have gotten austerity after austerity measure, and we have gotten fewer and fewer satisfactory, well-paid jobs to the point whereby people are in poverty and homelessness is on the rise. And 3, she thinks that she's hip and trendy and that she is the dancing queen, when in fact she embarrasses herself to laughable extremes by dancing so awkwardly and awfully that even someone who's not well seasoned in dancing, like a soccer star, can dance better than her.
Here we go. Here's the example of her dancing. Okay, that's it.
Therefore, I would like to declare myself as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And I would like to take the oath. I swear, by the Almighty God, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth, her heirs and her successors, according to law, so help me God.
Hey! Are you pledging allegiance to all of her hairs, or just a few of the hairs? Like, no,
all of them.
All of. Okay, good. Yay!
Okay.
His hammer.
Okay. Hello, Canada and the world. This is Barbara Ann Hammer. I argue that the current Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, is not the legitimate Prime Minister. And I have a number of reasons for that. His party did not receive the majority of the popular vote. In fact, they only received less than 30% of the popular vote in 2015. I also argue that he is, in fact, Fidel Castro's love child. As you can see on the screen, there's a photo of Justin on the left. Compare that with the photo of Fidel Castro on the right with the same facial hair. And there's also a photo of Castro and Justin's mother when Justin is a baby. I also argue that he butchers the English language. So he does not have a full command of both official languages. And he also, when he took his oath, he insulted the Queen. And I will show you his swearing-in ceremony. So, here at the beginning, he is introduced.
Monsieur Justin J.P. Trudeau. Mr. Justin J.P. Trudeau.
Okay, so he's introduced as Justin J.P. Trudeau, when in fact his real name, as you will hear, is Justin P.J. Trudeau. Pierre James Trudeau, not James Pierre.
What?
Wait. Hang on. I have to fast forward this.
Seems to be a problem in her logic.
Et Dieu me soit en aide. I, Justin P.J. Trudeau.
See? PJ, not JP.
And
as I fast forward again here, you will hear him mangle the English language.
Do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada, her heirs.
It's heirs, Justin. It is not hairs. You have insulted the Queen by swearing allegiance to her heirs. Fast forward again, and here's another example of him butchering the English language.
And swear that I will truly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me.
Reposed! It is not reposed, Justin. It is reposed. Therefore, I declare myself the legitimate Prime Minister of Canada.
yay!
And will now,
But that's good. Yay!
and I will now take the oath of office in both official languages, French and English. And I will swear my oath on an official Canadian citizenship Bible. Yes, this is an official Canadian citizenship Bible. So, moi, Barbara Hammer, je jure fidélité et sincère allégeance à Sa Majesté Élisabeth II, Reine du Canada, et ses héritiers et successeurs, ainsi doit me soit en aide. Now, in English. So, I, Barbara Ann Hammer, swear, hang on. I, Barbara Ann Hammer, do solemnly and sincerely promise and swear that I will truly and faithfully, and to the best of my skill and knowledge, execute the powers and trusts reposed in me as Prime Minister, so help me God.
Yay! That was very good. Your French sounds like the occupied French of the kind of got some German
Vichy?
influence in there,
It's
the
Vichy.
angry German French kind of thing going on. But that was very nice. That was very nice.
That is Vichy French.
That's Vichy French.
And as the new Prime Minister of Canada, I recognize Abdul Hussain as the legitimate Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
And in return, I recognise Barbara Ann Hammer to be the legitimate Prime Minister of Canada.
Outstanding. I'm watching history here. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Very moved. Now, so that we can complete the axis of evil, coalition of the willing, I, Scott Creighton, Scott, sell out as quick as possible Creighton, have decided that Donald the Orange Man Trump is not a legitimate president. So I have only one reason, and it's all the reason any American, any true American should possibly need. And that is as follows. If we can't possibly live in a country where a rich, gay, black TV star can't go out at night in Chicago at 2 o'clock in the morning in negative 20-degree weather when he could easily call Uber Eats and get a Subway sandwich from fucking Subway without being accosted by some MAGA hat wearing, ski mask wearing guys who just happen to have a noose with them and some bleach. Then something is seriously wrong in this country. And therefore, since we all know that whatever's wrong in the country is the fault of the president, Donald Trump is no longer a legitimate president of these United States. And because I actually won the election in 2016, which I didn't even vote in or take part in, therefore I am now the interim president of the United States of America. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't have anything to swear in on. I'll swear in on the wallet. I do so solemnly swear on my wallet, because money is the only thing we worship in America, that I will sell out as quickly as possible to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the World Bank, the Bank for International Settlements, and any other bankster who has a lot of money and or big business. Thank you very much. That's my swearing in ceremony. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hold your applause. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, I now recognize you, Scott Creighton, as the new legitimate president of the United States of America. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister Hammond. And I now recognize you also as the legitimate Prime Minister of the great country of Canada. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I, too, would like to recognize Scott Creighton as the President of the United States of America.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister Hussain, and I, too, and recognize you as the legitimate, the only legitimate Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Congratulations to both of you. Congratulations to all of us. We are now the axis of evil.
Thank you.
God save the world.
Yes.
So what should we do first as the new axis of evil? We got to do something. What should we do?
We should bomb France right now.
Damn right. Damn right.
I second that. I volunteer to drop barrels of maple syrup on France.
And I would like to relaunch the Trojan program. What ideas have you got, Mr. President?
Well, we've got a whole bunch of these things called nukes sitting around, and they're just getting dusty. And, you know, companies can't make any money if they don't buy, if they don't use them. So I think we should nuke France. I think it's the best thing.
Once you nuke it, could be a maple syrup flambe or something.
Yeah. Or give them maple syrup and pancakes. Give them breakfast.
No, waffles.
Not charge for effort.
We'll get USAID to come up there and get some maple syrup and some pancakes from you guys, and then USAID will go down there and feed them the pancakes and the syrup, and while they're eating the pancakes and syrup, I'll push the button.
No, they would be crepe. They would be crepe, not pancakes.
Oh, yeah. And we need to think of a campaign. Oh, yeah. Emmanuel Macron is an evil dictator, a vicious butcher. We need to eject him from France. Let's talk in his house first.
Outstanding. I'm behind that 100%. Let's start. We can step back a little bit and just do a little regime change action. Do we know of any large group of people in France who are unhappy and say marching in the streets? Perhaps. Maybe we should contact them and see if we can send them some weapons. Is anyone like that? You think anybody at all come to mind? I don't know.
I know it's not the blue vests or the red scarves. They're happy. They love Macron.
But there's a color that comes to mind, isn't there? Yeah, we can do that.
It's
yellow. Yellow. See that? Now that's why he's prime minister. See that? That's why he's a legitimate prime minister. Because Theresa May could have never figured that out. Perfect.
So is this going to be the yellow revolution? You know, the latest color revolution, the yellow revolution.
That's good. Well, we could call it mauve revolution, but that wouldn't work at all because they have to get new vests. So yes, the yellow revolution works perfectly.
Yeah, we'll recycle those two.
So the old axis of evil was Donald Trump, Theresa May, and Justin Trudeau. Mm-hmm. And we have replaced them.
Yeah, we have replaced them. Yeah, and trust me when I say this, and I think I speak for the entire axis of evil here, the new coalition of the willing, what we are willing to do, just like Juan, average random guy Juan down there, we are willing to sell out quick. So all you technocrats out there, all you representatives and neoliberals out there and big business guys, come on by, give us a call. We'll have a three-way conversation like this. But we'll sell out quick.
I don't want you to call it a three-way, though. That kind of bugs me.
I knew this conversation would go into the gutter soon enough, and of course, Barb is there. Of course she does.
Or we could scrap out the minimum wage completely. make sure businesses make some huge profits, so they don't have to worry about
open borders,
taxes or anything of the sort.
Right.
We're bringing the flexible workforces. We'll just do away with borders because everyone's a big happy partner when they join up with us and benefit from our regulation changes.
Perfect. And you guys got something that I can't really do. You guys can privatize your healthcare industry. You guys can privatize your universal healthcare. I can't do that, unfortunately. Mine's already privatized.
Oh, well, they privatize. You can privatize Medicare and Medicaid.
And Social Security.
And Social Security. Yes. Get on that.
Oh, yeah, we will.
This is why we're the new axis of evil, because we all think alike. We all think exactly alike.
Canada has tar sands that are similar grade of oil as Venezuela. So who needs Venezuela when you got Canada? Just come up and take it. Build those pipelines.
Pipelanistan? All right, so there you go. We are now 2 prime ministers and a president. But something tells me our standard of living is not going to get any better. What do you think?
What do you mean?
No? Yes?
No.
Who cares about standards of living? What are you talking about?
Well, let's just say that it will get better for everyone.
Wait.
This is a good deal.
I care about people. What I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just love the people.
Everything
I do is for the people.
Yeah, we want the GDP to keep growing. Stock markets rising, the GDP growing. That's all you need, right? That's it.
That's all the people care about.
I know, yeah.
Did you guys see that? I posted a link to that thing, an article written by The Atlantic, believe it or not.
I know the one you're talking about. I actually have your Twitter. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about because it's the one about the active shooter drills. Is that the one? Yeah. So I've got it up on the screen. The article.
That is amazing. You gotta read that.
Yeah, I started glancing.
Absolutely amazing. There's a line in here just talking about this, and obviously, they started off with this one case that happened down here in Florida in December. What they actually told these kids during the drill, this is not a drill. The announcement came, this kid was screaming, crying, throwing up, pissing on themselves, texting their fucking parents that someone's going to come in and shoot them and kill them. This thing is brilliant. This article is, I can't do it justice just chatting about it briefly, but one of the things I saw in it, and I've got it pulled up on my website here, on my screen here, I want to read it for you real quickly. It's talking about preparing kids for all this horror and the adultification of children, and the adultification, which is tragic. But it talks about the numbers. Only 150, less than 150 people, not just kids, but people, have been killed in school shootings since 1999. Wow. That's about 7 a year. That's not per year. That's total. Yeah. In 2016, 800 kids died in schools from different things in 1 year. But so it talks about those numbers and it talked about that event. But listen to this: preparing our children for profoundly unlikely events would be one thing if that preparation had no downside. But in this case, our efforts may exact a high price. Time and resources spent on drills and structural upgrades to school facilities could otherwise be devoted to, say, a better science program or hiring more experienced teachers. But much more worrying, school preparedness culture itself may be instilling in millions of children a distorted and foreboding view of their future. It's also encouraging adults, listen to this, to view children as associates in a shared mission to, quote, reduce gun violence, unquote. A problem whose real solution, in fact, lies somewhere far removed from the schoolyard, end quote. Now, the reason I mention that is because...
Yeah, I showed it on the screen. I had the article on that.
The reason I mention that is because what they are doing, they compare it to the 1950s when they had those stupid duck and cover things back during the McCarthy Act days. Mm-hmm. But what were they doing back in the 50s with those McCarthy Act days? They were terrorizing the kids in order to influence the families, in order to influence the parents. You know, this is so real. You know, your kids are being terrified from it. So to get the parents to be hateful and terrified of, quote unquote, the Reds, they did this cruel ass fucking shit. Get under your desk. Here comes a nuclear fucking bomb and a nuclear wave that's coming across it. Get under your desk. Really?
Yeah.
Really? But they did that shit to terrorize kids and influence adults. This is the same fucking shit they're doing with these goddamn drills. There is no sane person would say, you know what we should do? Let's do a drill, and then but to tell the kids it's not really a drill, and just scare the fucking shit out of them. And that's they do these things. Huh?
That's not good for torture, really.
It is. It's psychological torture.
Well, they're traumatized, so they're going to have like PTSD from those. Yeah.
Right, and that is covered in this article.
Yeah.
You should read that in this article, because I mean the instances of kids, and we're talking about instances of kids showing, you know, like post-traumatic stress disorder, starting at age 6. They do this shit to kindergartens.
Yes, yes.
Kindergartens, as if there's something teaching some fucking kid how to fucking throw a can of beets at a dude dressed up, some SWAT dude dressed up in full tactical gear with AR-15s. What's a can of beets going to do? I mean, that's sick.
It is?
Yes.
Yeah, it is sick because, I mean, I've told you, I witnessed a shooting when I was 10 or 11, and that traumatized me, and I still suffer the after effects of that. So, yeah.
And in the case of a lot of these kids, when they're doing these drills and not telling them what they're doing is in effect witnessing a fucking shooting, even though they're told later it wasn't, it still has the same effect.
Yeah, they don't know that it's not fake or what. So it's a real situation for kids.
Right. They were talking about kids in December down here in Florida sending mom and dad a fucking goodbye text because they're going to get fucking killed by some school shooter. Yeah. I mean, that's mentally ill. You do that shit to kids, that's mentally ill. These people should be arrested. But that's why they're doing it. They're doing that because they want kids terrified and the parents terrified because the kids are terrified, and to pass legislation start snatching up guns, taking Second Amendment rights away from them.
Yeah.
And they touch on that slightly, a little bit, in this Atlantic magazine article, which is why I think it's good. And it's well worth the time to read. It's long, but it's well worth the time to read it. I just thought I'd toss that out.
Yeah, I had it up earlier. I hadn't finished reading it, but I started, because it looked very interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Any news stuff you guys want to talk about? Like,
there's not much else other than Juan Guaido wants to authorize U.S. interventions as well. So there's that to worry about. Which is a bit awkward, but there you go. And then you got Venezuela trying to block U.S. aid because, as the old saying goes, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. So there's that sort of skepticism there as well.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to that?
Huh?
Any news articles you want to add to that?
Barb?
Oh, well, I'm dealing with... just using a backup account. Twitter is so screwed up, and I wasn't watching my language, and I finally got banned from my original account. So, you can't, I don't know. I'm really fed up with Twitter and the censorship and the fact that people who claim they're anti-war, anti-establishment celebrate the fact that I was banned from Twitter. I think that's the most disgusting thing of all. And I will name names. That's Emily Fiala of the Women's March on the Pentagon, who works for Mint Press News. I like Mint Press News, but, you have to be selective. But I'm going to say that, she is thrilled that my account was banned from Twitter, as is that other account, Occupy Yourself. And, that's disgusting. Yeah. Like, if they got banned, I'd say, well, that's not right. That's fucked up. But they love that. I mean, I don't know.
I think when Alex Jones was banned, they parroted what everybody else was saying, and that was oh, I don't like Alex Jones, but I can't support the fact that he's banned. You, however, they support the fact that you're banned.
Did they? I don't know. Probably.
Worse
I don't
than
know.
Alex Jones in their minds, I guess.
know.
Well, it's a feather in your cap, if you ask me.
If you're further to the left, you're the enemy of the Women's March on the Pentagon. But if you're on the right, they're okay with you. They love libertarians. That's what I've noticed. They love libertarians, but I'm the enemy. God.
There was something I put up about the real left being the target of all of these. You know, and I've been writing that for years.
Yeah.
You know, but the real left is the target of everybody. The fake left and the fucking right and the far right. Yeah. The real left is the target of everybody.
Yeah, and they call me a Trump supporter. You know, so they think anybody who criticizes them is on the right or is a Trump supporter. That's what they were always smearing me, saying. And it made no sense if they actually, you know, they were confused. I knew, but their knee-jerk reaction is, oh, she's a Trump supporter. What the?
She's racist. What? That's the problem with the people on the real left. They get falsely accused of racism, and mostly people tend to only think
anti-Semitism.
Actually,
I've encountered I encountered a couple of people on Twitter. I got drawn into a little argument, and they were uninformed, sadly, or one might have been a propagandist, I think. And, you know, I was criticizing Israel, and they said, oh, anti-Semite. Yeah. Anti-Semite.
Well, I mean, Tulsi's got her issues, and I'm not a big Tulsi Gabbard fan, but and she has had issues in the past where she's supported, openly supported
sanctions against Russia
in certain circumstances. However, there have been what's the guy's name? I forget his name. He's openly declared that, you know, all the good Zionists, and he calls himself a Zionist. All good Zionists are now going to target Tulsi Gabbard because she supports BDS. And so she's kind of drawn a different line in the sand now. But man, I tell you, they hate her on the right, they hate her on the left, and they hate her in AIPAC. You know, she's apparently gone too far to the left, and now they hate her guts.
Yeah, that's a pretty scary phenomenon, really. You go against her, you're ostracized right off the bat. And yeah, she does have her issues, but the fact that she's now being targeted like some sort of crazy witch hunt just goes to show how messed up it is, really.
Yeah, you don't I don't support Tulsi. To me, she's a Democrat, and the same goes for Jeremy Corbyn. But they both get smeared as being Jew haters, or simply because so that's just wrong.
Yeah.
So you have to defend them. You don't have to support them, but you defend them.
That's being targeted towards her, directed her way now, is much worse than anything Bernie Sanders saw during 2016.
Yeah, they've ramped it up quite a bit. Yeah.
So anybody who's like even progressive to some, and she's probably as quote unquote progressive as Bernie Sanders is, quote unquote, but the vitriol now is, they're just bringing out the long knives. Anybody who's a real progressive, at least pretends to be a real progressive, they just attack.
I think some of those attacks on Tulsi, I think she has a certain following among libertarians or anti-war libertarians, and some of them might be sort of soft Israel supporters. I don't know. So maybe they're trying to draw away some of that support that she has on the right, because I know she does appeal to people on both the left and the right. I know that. Yeah. Maybe that's right. I don't know.
But like you said to me earlier, at some point in time, I'm just the whole election thing is just a facade. It's a charade. I don't know exactly what the pronunciation is.
In French, it's a charade. So you said it the French way.
I mean, the whole thing is bullshit anyway. See, you talked about it before now. Certainly talked to death about it. The election system is fucking rigged anyway. And even now it's worse than it was in 2016 because they got caught with their pants down. So it really doesn't matter. But what does matter is, like he said, it's scary in that if you play along with it and you say, okay, I'm going to pretend to be the progressive, or I'm going to be the progressive, talking, put these progressives ideas, they come at you with like everything they got now. You know, I mean, they're talking about her being a fucking Russian agent and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's
That's just
everybody.
stuff, really.
Yeah, so they always, yeah, you're right. They always go after the left. And the elections, I don't even pay attention. Like I noticed, whoa, Elizabeth Warren is declared. Great, okay. So, and people get they're still getting so distracted with the presidential. And I don't pay attention. It's like, I'm done with that. I might be retarded, but I can still learn. So I had my eyes open. Thank you. Yes, I'm retarded. But I had my eyes open in 2016. I saw what was going on. Yeah.
You just had to toss that word in there, didn't you?
Yeah.
You just had to work that word in. And you know you did. You know you did. You were waiting this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dumb, but I'm not stupid. Come on.
So,
yeah.
Do we have anything else? Any other orders of business? Prime Minister Hammond, Prime Minister Hussain?
Well, I'm showing Abdul Hussain's Twitter page so that people know, and I will put links in the show notes when I upload this video.
Good.
And here's Scott. This is your Twitter page. And actually, I have changed my profile. The pictures on my profile. If I can, oh yeah, here we go. So my picture now is Marzia Hashemi, because I don't want people to forget.
Change.
And unfortunately, I asked my husband, "Do you know who that is?" And he said, "No." Great. Okay, wait a minute. I don't have it up here. Wait a minute. So Marzia Hashemi is now my Twitter picture, and then the cover picture is that picture. Remember the guy with the slingshot in Gaza with the flag? Yeah. So that's the cover photo. That's what I decided. That's my new image on Twitter. I am Marzia Hashemi.
Good. Yeah. Good. So are we done? Is that our first meeting of the Axis of Evil? Are we finished? We could probably do this like once a month or something.
Is that a suggestion?
I don't know. Yeah. It's a possibility. Yeah. We could do it every now and then, you know.
Yeah. A three-way. A monthly three-way.
Yeah, let's do a three-way. If Abdul doesn't, like, you know, turn this on and watch it on video and go, oh my God, and then go into hiding. Yeah, we could do this more often.
Well, there was somebody kept asking, when is the video coming out? Because you kept mentioning it, but it didn't happen.
What's that, Abdul?
Sorry.
No, I don't have a problem with that at all. I was looking forward to this video, actually, even though it took like 3 or 4 delays, but at least it's done now, so.
I was afraid Venezuela would be wiped off the map before we got a chance to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. It's going to be dragged out. It's going to be dragged out. Yeah.
Plus Russia and China are not going to let them just walk in there. Yeah. So I mean, it's just going to be a long, dragged out thing. Like it won't be the same as Libya. It'll probably be this long, dragged out thing like Iran, actually.
Well, yeah, they're making that connection, Venezuela, Iran already.
Yeah.
Mark Pompeo, Hezbollah.
Yeah. Hezbollah's everywhere, like Al Qaeda's everywhere. They're under your bed. Be afraid.
Well, they're actually, people think that's Iranian. Well, I guess they're Iranian supported, but they're in Lebanon. They're a legal political party in Lebanon. They're just a political party in Lebanon. That's all they are.
No, they're now chameleons. They're now turned into terrorist groups, apparently. So just like ISIS, but it just goes to show. You make up lies, anything can happen, really.
Yeah, if you make it up, anything can happen.
You just keep repeating them enough and people believe them. That's the way it works. Yeah.
You can make up stories about office fires bringing down steel structures, too, if you want to. Just thought I'd toss that in there.
Yeah.
Just to get that in. All right. Well, are we good? Are we done? Is that it? Is that the end of the video?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
If the boss says so, I guess it is.
I'm just asking. Are we good?
Yeah,
All
I think
good.
that was good.
All good on that.
Okay, yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. It's very nice to meet you, new prime ministers.
Thank you very much. It's nice to meet you, President and Prime Minister as well.
That's great.
Yeah, Canada has a lady immigrant prime minister now.
Yeah.
And ultra white.
Your birth certificate.
A white supremacist. Well, no, you don't have to be a natural born Canadian to become prime minister.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Really? Really?
Well, listen, the head of the Bank of England is actually Canadian. So, yeah. So where you're born doesn't matter. Yeah. And the Queen is the official head of state of both the UK and Canada. And a lot of Canadians don't realize that either.
Well, as long as you've all sworn allegiance to her hair, then that's
her hairs.
Hairs. Plural for hair. Her hair. What do you think her pubic hair looks like, Abdul?
Oh,
you think I'm bad? Damn it! You said I was bad.
And on that note, I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.
Bye. Okay, I'm ending it. That's the recording.